Recently, Xpeng announced the G9L, positioning it as a global large five-seater tech flagship built specifically to benchmark against the 300,000 yuan SUV segment in China, roughly $42,000. Xpeng is calling the G9L the safest SUV they've ever built, and they've engineered it to pass 5-star crash testing from 4 separate global safety bodies at once, using a platform they're calling aviation-grade redundant. The G9L shares its core safety architecture directly with Xpeng's larger GX flagship, which launched a few months earlier. And that shared architecture is where the aviation-grade redundancy language comes from. In practice, redundant design means critical systems, braking, steering, and the high-voltage battery circuits have backup pathways built in, so a single component failure doesn't take down the entire system. The same design philosophy used in aircraft, where a single point of failure is treated as unacceptable by default. Xpeng is applying that same standard to a consumer SUV rather than just an EV powertrain, and that redundancy is the backbone of every other safety claim built on top of it. Most manufacturers design a car for one primary market and adapt it elsewhere. Xpeng built the G9L to meet 5-star standards from 4 separate global crash testing authorities simultaneously. That's a genuinely demanding target, since these bodies don't all test for identical scenarios. Beyond standard crash testing, Xpeng has pointed to something more theatrical as proof of the platform's toughness. The GX, which shares its safety architecture with the G9L, completed what Xpeng calls the world's first water-land-air 720-degree 7-fold safety challenge. A stress testing exercise designed to push the vehicle through a combination of extreme scenarios well beyond standard regulatory crash testing. Xpeng states the G9L is built to withstand the same battery of tests. On a more directly verifiable note, Xpeng has also stated that the G9L set the fastest Moose test time in its vehicle class, the same sudden double-lane change maneuver that famously caused a Mercedes A-Class to roll over in 1997, and one of the most commonly used real-world proxies for how a tall vehicle handles emergency evasive steering without losing control. The G9L measures 5,120 millimeters long, 1,999 millimeters wide, and between 1,782 and 1,795 millimeters tall depending on trim, riding on a 3,100 millimeter wheelbase, with curb weight landing between 2,720 and 2,740 kilograms. Unlike the 6-seat GX it shares a platform with, the G9L is offered exclusively as a 5-seater, a deliberate decision by Xpeng to keep the two models from directly competing with each other in the same showroom. The GX serves buyers who need a third row, while the G9L is built around maximizing space and comfort for 2 rows instead, giving its roofline more design freedom without needing to accommodate rear-row headroom. Buyers get a choice between a pure battery electric version and an extended range version. The battery electric G9L uses a dual-motor all-wheel drive setup, a 160 kilowatt motor on the front axle, and a 270 kilowatt motor on the rear, for a combined 430 kilowatts, or 577 horsepower, and a top speed of 200 kilometers per hour. 2 battery options are available, a 91.9 kilowatt-hour pack and a larger 110 kilowatt-hour pack, delivering range between 672 and 805 kilometers, depending on configuration. The Extended Range V version pairs a 1.5-liter turbocharged range extender engine with a smaller 63.3 kilowatt-hour LFP battery, offering 350 kilometers of pure electric range under testing before the range extender engine needs to kick in. Both electric configurations run on Xpeng's 800-volt platform, which the company says can add 450 kilometers of range in just 9 minutes of fast charging, a genuinely aggressive charging speed that puts real-world road trip stops in the same rough time range as a normal gas station fill-up. The G9L runs 2,250 TOPS of effective onboard computing power, and carries the first major deployment of Xpeng's second-generation vision language action model, the company's approach to combining perception, language understanding, and driving action into a single AI system rather than treating each function separately. Xpeng has framed this as directly relevant to safety, not just convenience. Faster, more context-aware processing is the backbone behind how quickly the car's driver assistance systems can identify and react to a genuine hazard versus a false alarm. Elsewhere, the G9L's front end uses 480 individual LEDs across a 6.4-meter light bar, along with million-pixel projection headlights co-developed with Huawei, capable of projecting symbols directly onto the road surface to communicate with pedestrians and other drivers. The cabin adds a dual-zone refrigerator, zero-gravity seating, a 1,152-liter trunk, and 4 powered doors, genuinely flagship-level convenience features layered on top of the safety architecture, rather than existing separately from it. So, is it actually the safest SUV ever built? That's ultimately a claim only independent crash testing can confirm. And as of this video, the G9L hasn't yet completed its official Euro NCAP or CNCAP evaluations. Xpeng is stating what it's engineered the car to achieve, not publishing a completed independent result. What can be said with more confidence is that Xpeng has a genuine, verifiable track record of hitting 5-star ratings on its previous models, and the G9L is built on a platform specifically designed around redundancy rather than safety being treated as an afterthought.